Hello guys, welcome back to lighting and rendering class. Uh, Previous class we have learned about exterior lighting. So we have made some couple of changes in the settings, and we have learned with various techniques, right? So the previous class output is similar, something like this. Okay, so I have added some light in the center, and I have changed some value, which I told you to do it, right? So you remember it. So in this class, okay, we are going to learn some different topics with the same model. Okay, so now we got a final output, and you know that to get this final output, how much time we spent on render. So I think uh, uh, for my computer, okay, it took 40 to 45 minutes to take this image in full HD. Okay, and even I just forgot the exact time. Okay, so it almost took 40 more than 40 minutes. Okay, so now we are going to learn some techniques. With that, we are going to optimize the time. We're going to reduce the time, and we are going to improve our output quality. Okay, that's really cool, right? Okay, within less number of time, okay, we are going to increase the quality of the image. Okay, so I hope you all got the same kind of output, okay, with your file. Okay, so if you have added the same settings which I have told you, okay, so most probably you all be getting the same kind of output. Okay, so I have just made some changes in the settings. Okay, so in the opacity or some exposure, okay, or intensity, I have just made some tweeted. I have just in some light, I have just increased some intensity, and in some other lights, I have just reduced some exposure or something that. So I have did some experiment to get this output. Okay, so now look at here. Okay, this image has so many components. Okay, or so many elements. Okay, the first things, it has a color. Okay, you can see some colors. Okay, so the house has colors. Okay, some different types of color with the environment. Okay, all those things you can see it, right? This makes complete image. Right now, whatever we have in our final output, okay, this is called a final render, and it took lot of time. It took nearly 45 minutes, I believe, okay, to just get one image. Okay, or to achieve this quality, I got it took something kind of 45 minutes. Okay, and I'm not happy with the output quality with whatever time I have spent for the rendering. The thing is, okay, in the rendering, okay, in the lighting rendering, the biggest challenging part is a render time. Okay, so you might have seen some 3D movies. Okay, you might have seen a lot of 3D movies. Okay, this is just a one frame. Okay, just think about, okay, in industry, okay, how much for one movie, how much frame they have rendered. Okay, this is not a video, and you know that every video, every second has 24 frames. 24 frames in the sense 24 image sequence. Am I right? Okay, so to take one image, we nearly spent 24 minutes or 25 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever time it is. Okay, so for exactly this image, we spend some nearly in between 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, just think about, if I'm making a movie for 3D movie for 2.5 hours or 1.5 hours or 1 hour, just think about how much image I have to render, how much frames I have to render. So nearly it will take years. If one frame takes 20 minutes, then for 100 for 60-minute video, it will take years, right? It will take huge number of time for my computer. Okay, so what is this? What is the solution for the rendering pipeline? Okay, for the rendering pipeline, we have some techniques where we can reduce render time, as well as we can get good quality. Okay, so this is how industry works. Okay, so now analyze the image. Now just look into the image. Okay, now divide the image into different parts, different elements. Okay, example. Okay, you can see colors. Okay, so now in one render, I'm going to take all the color detail of this image into one image. Okay, okay, guys, it's bit confusing. Okay, but it is not complicated. Believe me, it just looks complicated. Okay, but it is not complicated. Okay, so look into the model. Okay, what are the things you can analyze in this image? In this image, I can find color, I can find shadow, I can find reflection. Okay, so these, okay, I'm just going to work with these three things. Okay, these 3 or 4 things. Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, what are the things you can see in this image? One is color, another depth. Okay, you can see depth. Okay, can you see this line here? You can see some depth over here. Okay, in the corner. Okay, look into the corner. You can see some depth. Okay, some details. Okay, look into this place. Okay, you can see some details. Okay, so you look at this part. Okay, there are 2 blacks here, right? 2 black models. In between, you can see some depth, right? So there is a depth detail. Okay, so number 1, I have a color detail. Number 2, I have a depth detail. Number 3, I have a reflection. Number 4, I have a shadow. So all these things makes together final output. Am I right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extract this image into different images. Okay, for in the sense, okay, for example, okay, I'm going to take this shadow detail into one image. I'm going to take this reflection detail into another image. I'm going to take this color into another image. And I'm going to take this deep depth, okay, or detail, okay, or depth. Okay, it's not detail, it's the depth. Okay, depth detail, okay, depth detail to another image. So nearly I will be getting some 3 or 4 images. Am I right? And then I will combine all the images into one image in some other software. Okay, so now if you render all the 3 or 4 the things together, that means your computer takes a lot of time. So to reduce the time, what I'm going to do is I'm just dividing this image into different different modes. Okay, different layers. Okay, different elements. Okay, so if I just divide into different elements, okay, to take this image, okay, I nearly spent 45 minutes. And if just I have to take shadow detail, then I may have to spend only 2 minutes. Okay, for the detail I may have to spend 4 minutes. For color I have to spend some 5 to 6 minutes. So overall everything will be done within 15 minutes. Okay, getting the point. So that's the advantage of the techniques we are going to learn today. So today's technique name is render pass. Okay, render passes. Okay, I'll just type. Oh, I cannot type. So look at here. Okay, in today's class, we are going to learn about render pass. Okay, so this is what the topic. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so we are going to learn about render passes. Okay, So I'm going to divide the image into different paths. Okay, I told you, right? The color detail into different image. So it's not a different image. I will take all the color, I will extract all the color detail to different paths. Okay, and then I will just extract all the depth detail to different paths. And then again, I will extract all the shadow detail to the other pass. Okay, so nearly I will be having different passes. Okay, so you know what is pass is, right? It's something similar like a layer. Okay, so with the word you can understand. So now I'm going to divide my render into different stages. Okay, where I can reduce my time as well as I can improve the quality of render images. So now look at here, till the previous class, what are the things we have learned? Okay, so I'm just going to hit render. So in the previous class, okay, we just got some kind of color pass. This is called a color pass. Okay, this is some final or master pass. We call it as a master pass or hero pass or final render. Okay, this final render has different names, or diffuse pass. Okay, the diffuse means color. Okay, the render which has a color detail, which is called color pass. Okay, diffuse pass. Okay, this image has lot of name. Okay, whatever name I have told you, these all can be called as, okay, you can name this image. Okay, so now this is a final render. Okay, you can, in industry they call as a color pass, diffuse pass, or hero pass, or final pass. Okay, these are all the names of this render. Okay, so now, so previous class we got a color pass. Am I right? So we got all the details of color here. You can see here. Okay, so I have all the details of color of my scene. So now I'm going to move to detail pass. Okay, which is called ambient occlusion. Okay, so I'll just type it. Okay, so now the pass which we are going to learn is called oh. Okay, so now we are going to learn about ambient occlusion pass. Okay, ambient occlusion pass is nothing but, so now this is called ambient occlusion pass, which means we are going to take details, okay, or depth, okay, or depth of the model, okay, into ambient occlusion pass. Okay, so we don't call it as a depth pass. We call it as an ambient occlusion pass, or AO pass. Okay, AO means ambient occlusion. So we call it as AO pass or ambient occlusion, which has all the detail of your model, depth of the model. Okay, so this is called ambient occlusion. So now, so guys, look at here. I don't have note access when I'm just recording the video. Okay, so that's why I'm just typing over here so that you can note it down. Okay, or you can just clearly understand the word. Okay, that's why I'm just typing over here. You no need to type here. Okay, I'm just using these letters to make you understand with the word. Okay, whatever I'm speaking, I'm just typing the important words over here so that you can note it down or you can understand. Okay, so this is called ambient occlusion. Okay, AO pass or ambient occlusion pass, which has which has depth detail of the model. Okay, or it will just have uniform lighting all over the model. Okay, of the environment. If you have some environment lighting, okay, I'll explain you. If you have environment lighting, okay, and in the ambient occlusion pass, okay, you will get balanced lighting everywhere in the model. Okay, I'll tell you how. Okay, to make a render pass, okay, to create a render pass, we have to go to window. Okay, guys, please watch carefully. Do not forward the video. Okay, please watch each and every second of the video. It is more important. Okay, so now look at here. Go to window and go to rendering editors. Under the rendering editors, you can find render setup. Okay, so here you can find render setup. So inside the render setup, we are going to work. Okay, this is called render setup. Okay, this window is called render setup. And now there are two ways where you can open your render setup. So one is from window, rendering editors, and you can open from here, or in the shelf. Okay, in the menu bar. Okay, here you can find, okay, next to the hyper shade, you can find render setup, which is called, okay, which looks like a clapboard with 2 layers. Okay, and here is the render settings. Okay, this is render settings, and this is a render setup. Okay, so now we are going to work with render setup. Okay, now whenever you open your render setup, you'll find your scene. Okay, this is a default scene where you can find all the models and everything is added by default inside here. Okay, if you just you cannot hide it here. You can see I here. You cannot see. You cannot just disable the visibility, because we have only one layer in my scene. Okay, in my render setup. Okay, so now I'm just going to create. I'm just going to create an ambient occlusion pass. So to create ambient occlusion pass, I'm going to create a new layer. Okay, you can see here. This is just a paper with plus symbol, which is called a layer. Okay, I have created a new layer, and here I'm just going to rename it. Guys, renaming is very important over here. Ambient occlusion. You can call it as an ambient occlusion or AO. Okay, it's up to you. So now I have added I have just created a layer. Okay, it's similar like Photoshop, guys. Okay, so I have created a layer. Now I'm just going to right click, and here I'm just going to create a collection. Okay, the collection means I'm just going to add these models inside the layer. Okay, now this layer is completely empty. Now look at here in the scene, the master layer. This is called master layer. Okay, the main layer. By default, it will be created. Whenever you work here, it will be defaultly created here. So this is called master layer. Inside the master layer, you can find so many layers here. Okay, some collections. Okay, so now the same kind of collections we are going to create over here. So right click on the ambient occlusion layer and hit create collection. Now, once your collection is created, I didn't add anything. Okay, so now what I'm going to add, I'm just going to add these geometries. You may call this as a model, but in lighting, we call it as a geometry. Okay, so you can rename it as a geometry or model. Okay, usually I just type as a geometry. Okay, whenever I work, I call it as geometry. So for your understanding, okay, I'm just going to rename it as model, or you can type as a scene. Okay, so okay, so hit enter so that it will be renamed here. Now you can see I here. Okay, now look at here. In the render scene, okay, in the viewport, you can see your model, right? So now I want to see, or I want to enable ambient occlusion layer. So by default, okay, the scene, okay, the master layer is enabled. Now I want to enable, okay, visibility of ambient occlusion. When I enable it, you can see that there is no model is visible in the scene. Now you don't, this model is, this is completely empty. Okay, and in the right side, you can find property editor. This is a render setup where you can add so many layers, or you can add passes layers. And in the right side, you can access the property of the layers, okay, which is called property editor. Okay, so now look at here, this is completely empty. This collection, this layer is completely empty. That's why nothing is visible in my viewport. You can see here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this house and I'm going to add over here. So when I add it, you can see here your model is added. Okay, getting? So now you can see here my ambient occlusion pass is enabled. Okay, and I have added this house group. So how to add house group? Now you can open outliner. Okay, if you don't find outline over here, you can open from here. Okay, in the left side below bottom before your Maya logo, you can find outliner, or you can go to window and here you can open outliner. Okay, these are the two ways to open outliner. Okay, so now you have to just find out what are the models you have to add inside the collection. Okay, ambient occlusion collection. So I want to add entire house. You can see here there is no house is visible in this layer, and the visibility is enabled for ambient occlusion. This is not enabled. If you enable this, okay, your final scene will be open. Now I want to enable ambient occlusion. Okay, I want to on the visibility of ambient occlusion, and what I find is there is no model visible in the scene. So that means the collection is completely empty. So now, okay, open outliner. Okay, this is my house group. Okay, middle mouse button. Okay, middle mouse button, and drag your mouse and drop over here. Okay, by that you can add your model. Okay, just you have to middle mouse button. Okay, just click the roller button. Okay, wheel button in the mouse and add over here. This is how we add, okay, model inside the property editor of rendering setup. Okay, so now this is one method. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is you can even remove here. Okay, you can add by manually here. Okay, you can add from here. Okay, you can just select the model. Okay, look here. If you are confused with middle mouse button and drag and drop here, just select the model and just hit add. Okay, whatever it is selected, it will be added in the collection. Add it to collection. Okay, you can see here, add to collection. Now I'll tell you third method to add your model here. This is something expression. You can see here, include, create expression. Okay, expression is nothing but it's similar like programming, okay, scripting or coding. Okay, so to add all the models, okay, to add all the models inside the collection, I'm just going to use asterisk symbol. Okay, so asterisk is the wild card. Okay, while we use this as a wild card, that means all. Okay, asterisk means all. So just add the star or asterisk and hit enter. So now you can find all your model is added over here. Okay, so I always go with asterisk because every model, all the model in the scene will be added here. Okay, if I add one by one, it maybe I miss some model or some geometry. So that's why to make all the object to add in the ambient occlusion collection, I just add asterisk. That means it will add all the model. Okay. These expression you have already learned in your programming. Okay, so this star I have used as a wild card. Okay, we call it as a wild card. Okay, so now I have added all the model, okay, inside the collection. Now go to Arnold. I'm just going to open Arnold view. Now look at here. Previously, when I hit render, I was getting a color render. Now if I render, what I'm gonna get? Oh God, the same. Okay, so now I have to get the detail pass. So for that, what I have to do is I have to add material. So right click on the collection, right click on the model collection here, right click on the model collection. Now create material override. Just select material override. Okay, once you create a material here, under the material override, okay, here you can find a checker box. Just click on the checker box. You can see a material here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type AI, okay, ambient, AM, okay. I'm just going to add ambient occlusion shader. Okay, just select it. Okay, once you added it, okay, you can find your ambient occlusion is added into the complete model. You might have noticed the color change here. Now go to Arnold, open Arnold render view. Okay, now hit render. So now look at here. I'm getting something completely white model. Okay, in this white model, you can see a detail, you can see a depth. Okay, in the window, you can see a depth. Okay, in this window side, you can see a depth. Okay, and in the loft, okay, here you can see a depth. Okay, without ambient occlusion, okay, in the real world, if you don't have ambient occlusion, you won't find this line. Okay, do you see this line over here between these two walls? Okay, if in your real world, okay, if you don't have ambient occlusion, that means this whole place looks like same. Okay, it will look like a same white. Okay, so that's why we have ambient occlusion. Okay, so now we got ambient occlusion pass. Okay, it complete rendered in 28 seconds. So it's quite fast. I'm happy with this render speed, render time. Okay, so now you can see here I got a depth detail, as well as we can see that the lighting is normalized everywhere. Normalized means the light is throughout everywhere. It's same. Okay, you cannot say that, sir, here we have more exposure or intensity and here we have less intensity. You can see that overall the light intensity or exposure is same. Okay, it is normalized. Now, the problem is, look at here, this place is a tree. This place is a tree, you can see here. And I'm just going to close this render. Okay, and you can see here, I'm changing this to perspective view so that I can just move it. Look at here. Okay, this is not an original tree. Okay, they have just added texture into the model. Am I right? So you are getting right. So we have already discussed about the tree. Okay, so if you want to see the tree, let me show you. Okay, now ambient occlusion is enabled. Now I'm just going to enable the scene. When I open the scene, you can see a complete color. Okay, because we have added material. Okay, ambient occlusion material. That's why it looks with ambient occlusion mode. Okay, so now you can see the tree. Okay, this is not original tree. This is just a plane where we have added just texture. Okay, so this is what the problem with the render right now, whatever we are doing. So now whatever I'm rendering, I'm just getting some planes here. So now what I have to do is I have to avoid these trees. So how can I avoid these trees? Okay, so I'm just going to create a new collection here. Right click. Okay, this collection is complete. So under the ambient occlusion, right click on the layer, create a collection. Okay, so I have created a collection, And here I'm just going to add trees. Okay, so I have just renamed as a trees or tree. Okay, let it be tree. Okay, so I have added a tree. Now I have to add these models over here, tree model over here. So under the group, okay, under the group, find a landscape. Under the landscape, okay, what is this? Oh, this is a model. Okay, this is a model. So I don't want to add this. So you can see here, okay, this is a planes. These all are planes, tree planes. So now I'm just going to hold shift. Okay, I have selected the first tree and go to the last tree, hold shift and left click. All the in-betweens will be selected automatically. You don't need to select one by one. Hold the shift key and no need to select one by one. Just select the first one and hold shift key, select the last one to select all the in-betweens. Now look at here. I want to add this selected into this collection. So middle mouse button, drag and drop, or you can just hit add. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, so now the selected models is added over here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to hide this plane whenever I do a render. Okay, whenever I do render, I want these planes to be hidden. Okay, for that we have some tricks. Okay, so now look at here. This is channel box, right? The model is selected. Okay, move to attribute editor. Under the attribute editor, you can find, okay, under the tree B shapes 7, okay, you will find object display. Okay, when I just off it, okay, you can see that, look at here. Look at here. When I just off the visibility, that means it is disabled. You can see here. The same thing, I'm just doing it for all. Okay, all the models here. So now just drag this visibility and drop over here. When you drop here, you will find the visibility is connected to your render setup, and then it turns into orange color. Okay, so this is just changes to orange color. Okay, that means this is linked with your render setup. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to off this setup, because now look at here. So for all the selected models, for all the selected and added models, okay, I have added the visibility and I made the visibility to be off. Okay, getting? So now when I hit render, okay, now when I hit render, you won't see these planes. Oh God, sorry. I'm gonna just change this to camera and go to render. So now I'm just going to open null render. Now just hit render. You can see all the trees are disabled from the scene. Okay, you can see here. So I cannot see the trees right now. Okay, so now we minimized the render. Okay, so we don't need those planes, right? So it's done. So now once it is done, now we are going to move to the next. So look at here, guys. Okay, so in the render view, okay, I just got all the details of my model. Okay, and I have just removed the trees. Okay, the tree has just a texture. Okay, so it does not gonna give my some kind of detail, because it's just a single plane. So I don't have any depth in that image. So I have just hided it. Okay, and then now look at here. You can see a background. I don't want to see any background. Okay, so I want to avoid the background. So how can I avoid the background? Okay, so what I'm going to do is it's quite simple. I'm just going to create a new plane. Okay, I'm just going to switch back to perspective. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to create a plane. Okay, go to polyplane. Okay, poly modeling and create plane, or go to create polygon primitives and create plane. It's up to you. Okay, so now I'm just going to uh, create a plane. Okay, you can see here, hit W, you can find out where your plane is. Okay, so here, I'm just going to add a mask. Okay, I'm just adding the mask. I don't want to see the background. So I'm just going to add some mask so that this background will be avoided. Okay, so I'm just going to add a mask. So I'm just typing mask, or we can call it as a garbage. Okay, we usually call it as a garbage mask. So now you can see that I didn't enable resolution gate. So you can see that, okay, we need a resolution gate whenever we do render. And here, I'm just going to rotate into -90, or you can, okay, 90°. Okay, and now look at here. And I'm just going to switch back to camera. Okay, where you can see that, okay, this is a resolution gate, am I right? So I have just added over here so that I'm just looking into, you can see here. Okay, so you can see that I cannot see a sky right now. Okay, the sky is not visible. The only problem is the half model is visible here. So go to the top view, okay, and move it behind. Okay, so I just added behind, and I have just scaled up. And now you can see that your complete model is visible over here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit render. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh God. Camera shape. You know that, okay, I want to render the camera which we created, okay, or perspective or side view. So I want to render my front camera, so the camera which I created. Okay, so that's why I selected camera shape 1. Now you can see that you have avoided the sky. The only thing is this looks gray. This doesn't have a proper material. Okay, proper ambient occlusion material. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add material to the mask here. So now go to render setup. Okay, render setup. Inside that, okay, whenever you create a new model, okay, new object or new geometry, it will be added inside the mask. Okay, the layer will be automatically created. Okay, so now you can see that the layer is automatically created. Now, okay, I'm just going to rename it as a mask. Okay, and now, okay, I want this to be enabled. Okay, whenever I have ambient occlusion, so I want this to be enabled. So I'm just going to open. Oh God, my Maya crashed, guys. So just hang on. So now you can see that we have enabled. Uh, we are going to just enable. We created the mask. Okay, and now I'm just going to add name for the mask. Okay, so I have just named the collection. It's a mask, and by default it added the mask layer. Okay, whatever the model you create, it will be added inside the layers. Okay, so we have added it, and now what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm just going to add a material. Okay, so go to material. Maybe let me just check with the render first. So you can see that now it is not gray. Okay, we have added it properly. So if you find it gray, okay, so what you have to do is, again, you have to right click on the mask. Okay, you have to create override. Okay, material override, and choose AI ambient occlusion. So once you add it, okay, then you can find your render, the background render will be fine. Okay, you can see here, right? So it is done right now. So now look at here. When I change this render setup to the original scene, the master layer, and when I render it, okay, you will find, okay, in this render you will find you have this wall. Okay, what the mask which we created. I cannot see the sky. I just want to avoid the sky only in the ambient occlusion render, not in the final render, not in the color render. The color render needs the sky. Okay, the other details, it doesn't need the sky. Okay, for that, what we have to do is, okay, switch back to your ambient occlusion in the mask. Okay, in the mask layer. Okay, in the collection. Okay, we are just going to add mask attribute. You remember that. Okay, in the mask shape, you find the object display, and here middle mouse button and drag and drop here. For whenever I'm just going to take visibility of ambient occlusion, the visibility of the mask will be on. And when I go to the scene, okay, when I go to the scene, it will be off by default. Okay, so now look at here. Now it is off by default when you render it. Okay, in the Arnold, when you render it, you can see your final output with the color details. And now I'm just going to switch back to ambient occlusion. When I switch back, you can see here the plane is automatically added because we have added material. We have added this mask. Okay, over here visibility to be on. You can see here. Okay, when I select the scene, when I select the scene, you can see here visibility is off. Okay, this is what difference between these two layers. Okay, so whenever I'm just going to render ambient occlusion, the visibility of this plane will be on, and whenever I'm just going to render the final one, okay, visibility of the plane will be off. Okay, so by that way, what happens is, now look at here. This is my ambient occlusion. So now I got a complete ambient occlusion. So let my render to be completed. Okay, it will be completed in 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, so in this image, we extracted the detail or depth of my model, depth of the scene. Okay, so now again, I will save this model. Okay, so guys, there are some process. Okay, why we are taking these images? Okay, once I get each and every image separately, I will just composite the image in the Photoshop or any other image editing tool. Okay, I'll teach you, don't worry. Just understand this concept. Now, what we are doing is we are extracting the detail in different passes. That's what it is. Okay, and this is the important topic. Okay, in industry, okay, they don't render the final output. They don't render. They render in different passes. Okay, this is called ambient occlusion pass. The white one. This is called ambient occlusion pass. Okay, so now we got ambient occlusion pass. Okay, so now I want to make different pass, shadow pass. Now I want to take all the shadows. I want to take out all the shadow detail, and I want to keep it in the different image. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy. Okay, just select the layer, hit Control C or Command C from your Mac. Okay, and hit Control V or Command V from your Mac. Okay, so now we got the same set of layer over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type it as shadow. So I'm going to take all this shadow detail over here. Now, remember guys, in which place we added, okay, so here in the ambient occlusion, okay, in the model collection, inside the model collection, you can see here, inside the model collection, we added ambient occlusion pass. Remember, instead of keeping the ambient occlusion pass, we are going to use shadow or matte. Okay, so the same thing. Okay, so now go to shadow layer. Okay, find out your model. Okay, this is my model. And here you can see that we have added ambient occlusion material. Okay, you remember ambient occlusion material. So now right click and just hit delete. So now in this, all the model is selected. This is a model, right? You remember, I call it as a geo model. Okay, so right click over here and add material override. Okay, create material override. Inside the material, previously we added ambient occlusion. And this time I'm just going to add AI shadow matte, AI shadow matte. So once I added AI shadow matte, okay, and even the mask one, you don't need to add. Let me check, or if I get, we will delete ambient occlusion. Okay, so just add material override. Okay, for model to be shadow mask, and now enable the shadow pass. Okay, so previously the scene was enabled, and then ambient occlusion we made visibility on. Now I just want to take a shadow detail of the model. So now go to Arnold, open render view, and now I'm just going to hit render view. Now look at here, we got a shadow detail. We almost got a shadow detail, but still I'm not happy with this shadow. So you can see here the shadows are looking over here. Okay, the black things. Okay, we have a shadow. So, but this is not a proper output, but I'm just getting the sky detail, everything. Okay, though I'm just using the previous ambient occlusion. In the ambient occlusion, I cannot see the sky. Okay, you can see here, but in the shadow, okay, I can see the sky. Okay, for that, what is the thing is, now look at here, when you create a shadow pass, okay, okay, in the attribute editor, you can see AI shadow matte. Under the attribute editor of AI shadow matte, you can see here the type. Okay, below that, okay, this is a shadow matte type. Okay, below that, you can find the background. Under the background, you have two backgrounds. One is scene background and one is background color. Change this to background color and then hit render. Before that, I want to just hit save, Control S, Arnold, open render view. Okay, and just hit render. Now, when you render it, okay, we are getting exactly what we needed right now. Now, I just want to take a shadow detail. Now you can analyze this image by right now. So the black portion will be the shadow part. You can see here. So okay, so I got all the shadow detail into my model. Okay, so this is really cool. So just wait for the render to be completed. Guys, there are n number of passes are there. Okay, so I have just introduced you 3 passes. One is color pass, that is called the final render or diffuse pass. The second one is ambient occlusion pass. It is important pass. The ambient occlusion, without ambient occlusion, you cannot work in VFX industry too. Okay. And the third pass, I have introduced you shadow pass. So with my knowledge, okay, when I was working with in the industry, so we work up to 28 passes for the scene. Okay, and I know that there are 52 passes. Okay, and there are some more lot more passes, but that those passes are useless. So I know important passes of 28 passes, which is important for the industry. Okay, so I have just introduced you three passes till right now. Okay, in the day, whenever when day goes, okay, I'll introduce you most of the passes. Okay, you'll most important passes. Okay, and by that you can complete your task. Okay, so this is how we extract the different detail from the scene, the lighting detail from the scene. Now I got shadow pass. So now what I'm gonna do is I will save this image. Okay, so don't worry about the saving image. Okay, so saving the image, I have um, different technique. Okay, so I'll just introduce you once we complete the render pass setup. So now just stop the things. Okay, this took 1 minute 38 seconds, just shadow pass. So now the next pass we are going to use is a reflection pass. Okay, you know that we have reflection over windows glasses and the door glasses, right? So we are going to extract in another layer, we are going to extract the detail of reflection. Okay, so let's see how to extract reflection detail. So now go to render setup, and here I'm just going to create a new layer called reflection pass. Okay, inside the reflection pass, I'm just going to create a new collection. Okay, so guys, where we have reflection, we have reflection over windows and doors. Okay, as I told you right now. Okay, so I'm just going to add window and doors. Okay, so I'm just going to add windows and doors inside this collection. So here inside the house group, you can find windows and doors. Okay, and in the doors, okay, look at here. There are something you must notice here. Okay, in the door you can find, just a minute. Okay, in the door, you can find the door knobs here. Okay, we don't want to add these door knobs. Okay, it is everywhere in the model. Okay, so we just need the reflection where we have reflection in the glass part. Okay, in the glass part, we will be having some reflection. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add windows. So you can see here when I select the windows. Okay, yeah, window has no any other extra things. So I'm just going to hit add. Okay, so I have added windows. Now inside the door, okay, I just open the door and you can see here, this door is made of wood. Okay, this door is made of wood. I don't think that it has a glass over here. So I don't want to add this door. So this door is over here, the front door. So now what I'm going to do is, okay, you can see a door handles and all. The door handles, I cannot find, you cannot find door handles from the long shot. From this shot, you cannot see a door handle where you can see the reflection. So those details are waste. So we have to optimize the render time. So that's why I don't want to add detail into the small things, small model, which is not gonna visible in my render. So that's why I'm just going to avoid uh, door handles. So now I'm going to select all the models. Okay, select the first model and hold shift key, select the last to select all the in-betweens and hold control key, command key. Okay, from your, if you are working with Windows, it's control, and from Mac, it is command. So now from the command, okay, I'm just going to disable front door handle. Okay, oh, I'm just going to disable all the handles, front door handles. I'm just going to use the doors and windows. Okay, so the doors is added and the front door I have just removed it. Okay, now I'm just going to hit add. Okay, so I have added all these things into my collection. Now, the next important part is, look at here. So now, look at here. I'm just going to create another collection. Okay, another collection where you can see a model. Okay, I'm going to add entire model except whatever we have added in the scene. Okay, when I just enable this eyeball, you can see that you have added the windows over here. The only windows and doors are visible. You cannot see anything else. You cannot see the models. Okay, so we have added the doors and windows over here. Okay, this is what we needed exactly over here. And in the model, okay, I just want to add entire other models here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold shift. Okay, I have just added all the things and disable doors and windows, and just in the model part, just add it. Okay, this model doesn't have window. Okay, and the window part, okay, which has only window part. Okay, you can understand the layer. Okay, now look at here in below the eyeball. If you click over here, you can only see a door window over here. And if you see over here, okay, you can see, look at here. Okay, the windows and doors are missing here because windows and doors are added into the other layer. Okay, getting the point. Okay, this is what thing we have to do right now. And now I'm going to create another layer, which is called mask, which we created over here. Look into the ambient decoration. We have created a mask. Remember this mask. So I'm just going to create a same mask over here. Okay, right click, create collection, and it is a mask. Okay, and in the mask, I'm just going to add my mask layer. Okay, so that I can hide the background. I can just avoid the background, the sky. So I have added over here. Now make sure your mask is selected. Okay, and go to attribute editor. In that, select the mask shape and go to the object display. Enable, just drag the object display over here in the add override. Okay, once it is added, now just once it is added, it will turn to the orange color. And now I just want to make it as visible. So now it will be visible whenever you just render the reflection path. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, okay, look at here. I'm just going to add material for this both. Okay, so you can see here the model. Right click on the model collection. Okay, add material override. Under the material override, okay, you can see a material override checker box. Open it. Okay, just select the surface. Select the surface. Okay, select the Maya surface, and below that you can find surface shader. Just enable the surface shader. When you turn on surface shader, it will turn into the black. Okay, it will the entire model will be black except the window. We don't need to black the window. Okay, we just need to black the background and the house. Okay, other part which is not which doesn't have any reflection. Okay, so select the mask. Now click on the mask. Okay, create material override. Okay, and here add volume shader. Select the surface and select surface shader. And once it is added, you can see that entire model is black right now. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit Control S and go to Control S, go to Arnold, hit render view. Okay, this is a shadow pass. Now we will be getting a reflection pass. So let's wait. Now you can see here, I just have a reflection detail in my render. You can see here. So now we got just a reflection detail, but I'm not happy with the reflection detail over here. So now go to render pass. Okay, render setup. Okay, inside the window. Okay, inside the window, door and window. Here, what I'm gonna do is, okay, just wait until the render completes. And look at here, we got some of the output over here. You can see here. Okay, so in the windows, we have some reflection. Okay, so now I'm not happy with this kind of reflection. So I'm just going to tweak some settings over here. Okay, so for that, okay, select the window. Okay, select the window. Once you select the window, okay, and then open your, I'm just making over here, okay. And then open your render setup. Okay, once you open the render setup, okay, select the door and window collection. Okay, and now I've selected the door. Okay, select anyone window from the scene, any one object which has a reflection. Okay, and then select the window door collection in the render setup. Okay, and now you can see here, okay, in the window class material, okay, we have a transmission. Okay, in this transmission, I'm just going to reduce the reflection. Okay, so let's see if I reduce the reflection, what happens. Okay, so you can see the difference over here. Okay, I'm just reducing the reflection, and then guys, my render is in dynamic here. Okay, whatever make I do some changes here, it will be dynamically changed over my render. So now look at here. Okay, so I have just reduced the transmission. Okay, the transmission weight, I have just dragged the transmission weight and I have added into the weight here. Okay. Okay. I have just added into window. Okay, so you can see here that absolute override is transmission right now. Okay, so now once it is added, now I have just made this value is 0 so that the reflection is less right now. And then, okay, I can find weight. Okay, where is the weight here? In the base, you can find weight, add the weight into the override. Okay, once you add into the override, now I'm just going to increase the value over here. Okay, maybe, yeah, 0.5. Okay, I just want to work with the 0.5 value. You can see the difference over here. Okay, and now look at here. Okay, there is a metalness. Okay, just add the metalness into the window override here. And now I want to just increase to some kind of 0.7 to 0.8 so that you can now look at here. You can see this window metals very clearly. You can see here. Previously, when it was very less, okay, you cannot see it proper like a metal finish. So now when you increase the value, okay, to 8 or 0.8, you can find the value to be proper. Okay, so now in this image we got a reflection. Okay, so you can see here we used surface shader so that I can make background completely black. Okay, and now we will wait for the render to complete. Okay, just wait for the render, guys. So guys, our render is done within 2 minutes. Okay, you can see here 1 minute 45 seconds. So now we have learned about 3 render passes. Okay, and each and every render passes took nearly two minutes, below 2 minutes, right? So you can see here. Okay, so ambient occlusion took just 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and shadow pass just took 1.5 seconds, and the reflection pass just took 1 minute 45 seconds. So you can see here the render time is minimizing. If I take some more two renders, okay, after that those two renders, I can make my final render. Okay, I can make my final output, and with proper detail, I can. Okay, so why we are using why we are using this render pass? Why we are extracting these details into separate images? Because in some okay, when you take a final output, when you just take one image render, okay, and your customer says, okay, I want to increase the reflection. Okay, can you increase the reflection and can you send the file? Okay, then what you have to do, you have to redo the render. Okay, if you have reflection pass alone, then you can increase the intensity, or you can increase the exposure. Okay, in Photoshop, okay, you can do some editing with the Photoshop. Okay, you no need to spend again 2 hours or 45 minutes or 1 hour for the render again. Okay, this is what the advantage of taking render image. Okay, render passes. Okay, render pass is useful for optimizing the time, to reducing the time. Okay, and the most important part is you can control each and every image separately. Okay, if you have final output, and if you increase the brightness, okay, everywhere you will find the brightness is increased. Okay, for instance, I just want to increase the intensity of reflection. Okay, then if I increase reflection in final output, then you will find everywhere uh, the intensity is increased, right? The brightness is increased. So for that, if I just take into different render passes, okay, like whatever we did, and if I want to dark the shadows, then I can just increase the darkness of shadows in separate layer. Those things will not affect into my in the reflection part. Okay, this is what advantage in render passes. Okay, so don't worry. Okay, we will, while we composite the image, okay, you will understand more clearly. Okay, so just understand what is a render pass and how to take render pass. So in this class we have learned color pass, which is called final render. Okay, or diffuse pass. Okay, and the second one is ambient occlusion pass, third one is shadow pass, and fourth one is reflection pass. Okay, so you no need to save this images. If you want to save this image, you can save the image, okay, from here, or save from here. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay, and to save in the later classes, I'll explain you different style of saving the images. Okay, so this is what about today's class. Okay, this is render setup. Okay, we have done render pass. This is very important, very important in lighting and rendering industry. Okay, without render pass, no lighting artist used to take render. Okay, so this is what today's class is, guys. Okay, and most importantly, whenever I used to send you some video for the previous classes, okay, some of the students used to ask me, sir, my model is completely green and texture is not visible. I have told you guys, whenever you work, okay, before you start work, go to file, set project, and you have to choose my file. You remember? You have to choose the folder. You have to choose the folder which is your file, which I shared to you. Then only your texture will be mapped. Okay, and another things, if you find something strange in Maya interface, okay, go to Windows, okay, setting preference, and go to edit and hit restore to default. When you hit restore to default, your Maya interface will be switched to the new one. Okay, it will when it will switch to the default one. If you find something is missing, okay, if you find the self is missing, then just go to settings preference and just reset the workspace. If you find something strange, if you find something strange in the, okay, for example, okay, I don't have channel box, you can see here. I don't have modeling toolkit. Okay, you find something strange in the view, in the interface. Go to Windows, okay, go to preference, go to edit, restore to default. Okay, you will get everything over here. This I personally dragged and dropped. That's why it was just floating. If you would just add over here, it will be added over here automatically. And if you don't find attribute editor over here, okay, just hit Control A. Control A means attribute editor. Just add attribute editor. Getting? Okay, if you don't find attribute editor, okay, just hit Control A from your keyboard. Same for Mac. Control plus A. Okay, you will get attribute editor. Okay, so this is what simple things, guys. And more, I know most of you guys are not listening to the video in every seconds. Okay, you are not watching properly. You are just forwarding the video and you are asking me the same doubt which I cleared in the video. Okay, so please don't do that. Okay, please spend time in the video. I spend lot of time for making video for you. Okay, you don't believe me, I have just spent lot of time to make this video. Okay, before that, before teaching or before recording the video, I spent lot of time to prepare for the class. Okay, and I know that where, in which place you will ask me a doubt for today's class, in which place you will ask me a doubt. Okay, so all those doubt I used to clear in advance. Okay, so but you guys don't used to watch my video properly. Okay, you just used to forward my video and you used to watch. Please watch my video or my video lecture in computer screen. Do not watch in mobile screen. Okay, guys, understand, I'm just putting more effort making in the video, because I know that this is an advanced topic. Okay, and it is very new for you, and I'm just making very simplified for you. I'm just making all the lectures, okay, in a way where you can understand the concept very easily. Okay, so I spend a lot of time. Okay, and I just clear all the doubts in the video. Whenever I teach something, I used to tell you guys, if you find something strange in the video, go here and do that. Okay, so the most of the things I used to share with you in the video. So whatever I just used to think, okay, what are the, if I teach you this lesson, okay, before that, what are the questions student will ask me? So I used to add all the doubts inside it. Okay, so please watch the video properly so that you will learn extra things. I have added a lot of extra things in the video. Okay, so I told you, right? So if you don't find in the beginning of the class, I know that some of you don't find the outliner. Okay, and some of you don't find this button. Okay, and then again you will ask me, sir, the outliner is missing. It is a basic doubt. Okay, that's why I just added in the beginning. Okay, guys, if you don't find outliner, just click this button. You'll find outliner. And even if you don't find this button, then go to Windows and click outline. So I'm teaching you so many methods for the same step. Okay, to access one thing, I'm teaching you minimum 3 steps. Okay, in 3 ways you can achieve. Okay, so please watch the video and please do practice. Okay, and you know what, why I'm not giving you assignment? Okay, because you guys are grown up, you are no more kids, and you are not elementary school students, or you are not school students, you are a college university students. Okay, you must have responsibility. Okay, I should not give you some responsibility. You must take your own responsibility. Okay, my responsibility is to teach you the technique and to make you expert in the subject. Okay, that I promise you. At the end of the class, okay, if you watched my video properly, then you will be expert in my video. Okay, and when it comes for the additional practice, okay, you have to download model from the internet, okay, and you have to make some lighting. Guys, if I teach you a day lighting in this model, then you try to make night lighting, okay. No one is stopping you. Why you need assignment? It's not required. If you want to learn, then you have to be responsible. Okay, I have shown you how to make day lighting for this, and for the other file I have taught you how to make evening lighting. If you just adjust some more values, you will get a night lighting. Though I will teach you a night lighting in the separate model, okay, but you can try it, right? You can do some experiment, okay. And the second step, second point is, some of the students were asking like, you need more extra material for the class, okay, apart from the video. Guys, I am giving you more things in one video, believe me. Okay, before the class I used to refer 8 to 10 books. Okay, I'm saving your time. Okay, before uh, recording the video, I used to refer 8 to 10 books, okay, with the different authors. You no need to read it. I am there to prepare for you. Okay, I'll save time for you. Okay, that's why I'm spending more time for the preparation for your class. Okay, so you no need to worry about anything. Okay, you just follow my video. Okay, and believe me, at the end of the class you will be expert in lighting and rendering. Don't worry, that is my responsibility. Understand? Your responsibility is to practice. That's it. It's very simple. Okay, guys, you have fun. Okay, you just roam outside, roam everywhere. Okay, make fun with the friends. Okay, that's fine, but please spend some time for my subject, lighting and rendering. Please spend 1 hour daily for my subject. Do something. Okay, you can just change this value and just find out what is happening there. Do some experiments. Okay, that is what I'm asking. I'm not asking some final output from you guys. I'm just telling you, be familiar with the settings. That's it. You just do some experiment, guys. You will be expert soon. Okay, you will be more familiar. Okay, the other things I have just told you. Okay, for the subject, okay, I'll make you expert. Okay, that is my responsibility. And to practice and to get familiar with all the intensity, resolution, exposure, samples, all those things. Okay, these all things, camera setups. Okay, all those things, you have to practice it. Okay, I have introduced all the things. Okay, whatever I taught you, please implement the same thing in different model, or in the same model, try to get different kind of light. Okay, so those kind of things are practice. Okay, do that. No need of I don't believe in assignment, believe me. Okay, okay, when I was student, I don't like assignments, but I do hard work. Okay, I used to practice a lot. Okay, I don't wait for the teachers. I used to practice by my own. Okay, so the same thing, if you practice by your own, you will understand and you will learn a lot. Okay, so you will remember so many values when you learn by yourself. Okay, when you just watch my video and if you add these settings, you will just memorize my settings. You won't understand it. Okay, you have to practice it. Okay, so I don't believe in assignment, and don't worry about the content. Okay, I'm just giving you lot of content in one video, believe me. Okay, if I give you some books, then you will be confused. If you want some books, just ask me in Botium, I'll send you personally. Okay, but it is not required. Okay, lighting and rendering is practical based course, so you no need to read any books. Okay, the reference, okay, all those things, I am there for you. I am reading the books. Okay, so don't worry. So guys, so this is what today's class is about. Okay, render passes. Okay, and we will continue the same things in this next classes. We will learn how to composite the image. and how to continue, how to make a perfect image. Okay, so this is architecture rendering. Okay, we are just rendering the architecture render. Guys, once you understand this lighting, you can approach some of the builders nearby, the one who builds new home. Okay, get their plan, get the model. Okay, you know, you are learning the modeling part. Okay, tell them, give me your plan, I will make a house for you, and you can do a rendering part, and then you can get some money, you can earn some pocket money. Okay, these all things be done. Usually I done in my school days. Okay, so I know how to model it, I know how to color it, I know how to render it, how to light it. So I just used to take some little money, okay, from the clients. Okay, so you can approach these kind of things, you will learn a lot. Okay, when you go to the industry, you will be very strong in the field. Please do that. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, please practice, and if you have any doubt, please ask me. Okay, in the Botium, I'm always online for you. Okay, so please ask me your doubt. Okay, put your questions. I'll definitely reply to your questions, don't worry. Okay, so thank you guys.